Good evening, ladies. How are you doing? I'm broke, welcome to the channel, and welcome to a very interesting video. And the reason for this video, the thumbnail and the title, is that yes, those guys have done it. Both Chamork and Zen have done something terrible. They've done something that honestly to me is disrespectful to all of you. And I'm gonna do it too, because this is a Q&A, guys. These bastards did it, it worked well for them, and I said, well look, I'm gonna take advantage of it. I apologize for the mega clickbait. It seems funny knowing how we mess with each other, and we're going to do a series of questions and answers. And I take advantage of it because all the questions were going to be about the join game, Ochre and Aquamarine. And I say, well, if we do a Q&A, we answer calmly and you all can relax. Okay? Leave a like and subscribe. And you can tell me what you think about the answers I give to the questions I'm asked. And if you want me to do a second part, just ask anything you want in the description. Okay? I did this on Twitter. I posted a tweet saying, the others have already done this, so now it's my turn. And I have another promo to sneak in, but I'm not going to sneak in another promo. Honestly, I'm not going to do a promo because I think that's pretty lame. Ask whatever you want, and I'll answer you. And I said, please, guys, don't make it about when. The young guy is the Ochre logo. Come on. And we have some really good questions, okay? Really good questions. Let's start with this one from Iria. Is it true what Josu says that you might actually be Waluigi? Look, Josu imitates me like this. Here.
Hey, when are we gonna play the new Pokemon game? When are we going?
It imitates me like this, man. Josu thinks this is my voice. And honestly, it's pretty funny. Does it sound like me or not? Well, let me know in the comments. I don't know. I find it really funny how he imitates me, but I don't think it sounds like me. Aside from the lack of respect, he says to me, tell us, what are you most proud of from what you've achieved since you started? This is a complicated topic. This is a complicated topic because I can't give you a direct answer. It's true that there's something I mentioned to Carlings that I'm really proud of when it comes to YouTube. It's not the subscribers or joining a really important esports club or making a living from the internet. It's something else that I think I stand for the most. I think it's the respect and affection for people, and I think I've said it 1,000 times in many interviews and so on. But it fills me with pride that if you ask almost anyone from Twitter, from YouTube, from anywhere, any content creator, what do you think of Oscar? And of course, if you don't know me, you're gonna say, who the hell is Oscar? But if you know me, you say, no man, he's a good guy, or I like him. Earning the respect and affection of those people, of the people I've worked with, the ones I've met and all that. For me, it's fundamental. It's really important because, damn. I believe that being a good person and getting along with people makes things much easier for you in life and helps you go through life more peacefully and all that. And knowing that I have the respect and affection of many people, for me, that's the main thing. Here we have a very interesting question from my guy, Vasco, okay? Vasco is practically the brains when it comes to creating content at YXX. He says, you've done a lot of interviews with very interesting people. When are we getting an interview with you? Interview Oscar Perez. Putting Brock aside, these are also really good questions, man. I have a section that I'd like to release at least 4 or 5 episodes before the end of the year. Once a year, I do a sort of mini podcast within the main YouTube channel of Oscar Brock, where I call several people and we have a little chat. I mainly look for friends. Then I brought Gabby, I brought Fola, I brought Yosu and Kapi. So I think we can keep doing that. An interview with Oscar Perez. Look, to be honest with you, I think that all the interviews that people do with me or everything I talk about myself is about Oscar Perez, not Oscar Brock. I think Oscar Perez and Oscar Brock are the same person. And I think that the people who know me or who stop us at shows or events and so on don't notice the difference between me when I'm streaming or making videos and me in my personal life. So to speak personal, you know, I think we're the same person because I've always liked being transparent and close to people. I never liked putting on a mask and pretending to be something that I'm not in person. So I think all the worries, personal stuff and struggles, the worries that I've talked about live or in videos and so on, are from Oscar Perez. So I think people know Oscar Perez pretty well. Is it really necessary to do an interview or some content for people to get to know me a little more? I think I'm pretty transparent and I don't think there's any need to go into anything else. Here we have 3 questions. So let's answer them. Since we're here, let's do it. Palitroque says, I understand you don't want everything to be about Joe and Adventure Delta, but I have to ask, how is the development going? We haven't had much news and we don't know how it's going or how much is left. Is that true? You haven't had much news about Joan because the mistake I made with that project was announcing it too early. Joan Adventure Delta has been in development for about 4 or 5 years. I understand there might be a Mandela effect and that you've seen me talk about Joan 8 years ago. But Joan already came out. It was a complete experience 3rd generation from 1st to 3rd generation. As for Pokemon, that's it, just a graphic overhaul with new little events and a nicer map. And there you have Joan Adventure Delta. It's about rewriting Joan's story to make it much better and doing everything from scratch, all the graphics from scratch. That development has been going on for about 4 years. Right now we're making progress. and working on something called critical path, which basically, let's say, is from the 1st to the 8th gym plus the league. That's the critical path of a Pokemon game. We're focusing on finishing that, and honestly, there isn't much left of the critical path. We have more than 70-something% done. And once we have that, we can add things like a battle tower, extra battles, extra side quests, and so on. But right now, we're on the critical path. When you start seeing weekly updates about Joen, it's because the game is practically finished, and I'm already working on Hyde's campaign, just so you see it that way. And what about Loker? Well, we recently announced Loker's characters, and I think the progress is going to be significant. It's coming soon. Well, we already have the foundation, so we're going to start creating events. And maybe there I'll record something more like, guys, look, let's take a walk on Route 4, and I'll record myself taking a walk about how I made Route 4 and the events I've created on the route. Maybe in 2 weeks, you'll have a video about Loker, most likely.
Another question from Palatroke. What inspired you to make your physical transformation?
Let's see. I think more than inspiring me, because I think lately we're in a time of massive bombardment on social media about fitness content and about perfect bodies and super strong people. You can't have more inspiration than that. But I think that's not what makes you change your mindset enough to make a physical change, which is super mega tough. For me, what made me change my physique and my habits and all that was basically seeing myself looking really bad. And I know that you guys in live streams, in videos, you don't see it, but bro, a person who's about 1.75 meters tall and weighs 85 kilos, and it's fat, not muscle, is not at their ideal weight. They should weigh 10 or 15 kilos less. Then I have an extremely sedentary job. My back hurts a lot. I have problems like my legs hurting and all that. I spend too much time sitting. I don't move. I have to buy 1 or 2 sizes bigger than what I would really like and what is actually my size, right? So when you find yourself like that in a situation where you say, man, I'm 28 years old and I have all these physical and aesthetic problems, also each person's self-esteem. You say, okay, I've hit rock bottom because you're not doing well, and fixing that takes work. That's when you say, either I change it now or the hole just keeps getting bigger.
I've been on a diet for 2 weeks. 2 weeks of intense exercise, 10,000 steps a day. I've already lost about 3.5 kilos, so I'm super happy. My goal is to lose about 10 kilos in 3 months and gain muscle mass.
I rest better, I live better, so to speak. I've changed almost all the bad habits I had in just 2 or 3 weeks, and now I have to keep it up.
Right, and last question from Palatroke. Will you ever do a hardcore newslock of a game?
I don't know, honestly, I don't know. It's not something that's a priority for me right now. I just want to take it easy. That's why I have the Team Rocket series, which isn't crazy or anything. It's just about playing, having a good time with you guys, getting your comments, suggestions, and stuff like that. Me getting to know a game's story and enjoying it, that's it. I mean, I honestly don't care about hardcoring a newslock right now. Next question. This one is from Del Delfrost. He says, we already have the Joanian Gaslight, so when are we getting the Joanian Jonta? Just kidding. Now, the real question, will Joan be your last project? Will you stop working on Pokemon fan games and ROM hacks to focus solely on making content? Whether it's you with the Enses, with Giants, or with other Poketubers. I don't think so. I mean, Join is not my last project, not at all. It's a project where I have a lot of teammates, and I depend on those teammates to move forward.
Because my level of ROM hacking isn't that high. We're talking about bringing together pretty much the best people for each position.
So obviously it's a project that moves very slowly. It's a project with zero funding. I mean, the things that need to be paid for, like graphic resources, I pay for out of my own pocket. The workers, well, they don't get paid a salary as such. Obviously, this is ROM hacking. This is done for the love of it. No translation or project, much less the Twitch Cup, comes with funding, so we can dedicate as much time to it as we'd like, right? My last project, I don't think so. Obviously not. When I release Join, then yes, I want to focus a bit more on the Aquamarine project, since I'm already gaining quite a bit of experience with RPG Maker, and I'm writing a lot about Aquamarine. I know how I'm going to do it, so it won't be a 5 or 6 year development. I want to release a sort of Aquamarine game, which I'll talk about later, but I think it's going to be interesting, and, well, basically that's it. I think I'm always going to be connected to the topic of ROM hacking and fan games, covering releases, covering news, covering emulators, making recommendations, a million different things. Why? Because that's why I started making Pokemon content on YouTube, that I'll keep making series and content for Giants and such, man. As long as I'm with Giants, of course, I'll do everything they ask me to, and I'm super happy with my Genses. Every year you get 2 releases, which are trilocketing, and that's what I have to do. With more Poketubers, of course, yes. What I like to upload on YouTube are analyses, theories, releases, and big Pokemon games. This is interesting. This topic is interesting because I think Zen also asked me this once. What percentage of the legendary nicknames have you given?
Numbers 4, Action Man, Free Rovaldinho, Escritorio. Are those really from subscribers? And how many have you made up yourself?
Honestly, it's hard for me to believe that a subscriber is named Farlopino. I mean, when I started with the nicknames, at first all my nicknames were like shout out to Marcus, shout out to Pedro, shout out to Christian. You know what I mean? And then I started using nicknames from comments that I found funny from subscribers whose names made me laugh. Not funny nicknames or jokes, but just funny names. And I remember that among the first ones, well, Action Man isn't a funny nickname. It's an action figure that's super well known worldwide. Was it from the guy or a show? I don't remember, but the guy probably just picked that name for himself. Free. Ronaldinho. Could he be a fan of Ronaldinho? And when he went to jail, maybe he made a YouTube or Twitter account or whatever to support him. The thing is, now is when we create a monster, when I publicly say that I find them really funny, and those nicknames, like super absurd ones, sneakers, desk, flower pot. I don't know why I find it funny to give some huge beast a nickname that's just a random noun. People create YouTube and Twitter accounts with, I don't know, really weird names, really weird. They follow me and comment because they know it's much more likely that I'll give them nicknames that way. And because I said that, hundreds of super mega random accounts have popped up on the YouTube channel, you know? Recently, someone followed me and we talked about it live. A guy named Ubrafeno. It's perfectly possible for one of my Pokemon to be my Ubrafeno, so that's what I'm saying. Ventral me, it doesn't make any up for me. There are probably quite a few people who have deliberately given themselves random nicknames, so those names will show up on my Pokemon? Yeah, I think so. Here's a big question that Rayo is asking me, okay? He says, I guess you've already answered this at some point, but I'll ask you anyway. Do you feel happy or satisfied with the contribution you've made to the community, both as a content creator and as a run hacker? Do you think you still need to create your masterpiece? Like Z was for Eric, or is the game in adventures your ultimate game? That's a big question. Honestly, I think I am, and you can say whatever you want to me, okay? But I am one of the people who has contributed the most to Pokemon out of all the content creators. I mean, you might like me more or less. You might like my series more, or what I do, or my personality, because I know I make a lot of jokes. I can be really annoying. I'm a bit of a clown, and some people might find that annoying. But it's undeniable that I've worked much harder for the community and to bring you things than for my own growth. That's how it is on YouTube. I mean, there's a video called My Legacy, where I show everything I've done up to now. And there are a lot of contributions, and besides that, there are things you don't see, like teaching and helping a lot of people who have later achieved tangible results. For example, I remember teaching Square, who released a Pokemon game that I translated, and I participated in that game, doing translation and critical bug fixing, which is, well, translation and fixing critical bugs. And I remember, man, working side by side with a lot of really important people on the creation of Pokemon games. Honestly, I truly believe I understand that Eric Lost was much more famous than me when it comes to titles and game development and all that. But if I retire tomorrow and don't release the game in Delta, that would be a thorn in my side, right? Nor release Aquamarine. And people might say, man, I played 1,000 things from the translations, contributions, or really simple games, but people were asking me for them. Classic 151 is basically Pokemon Fire Red with the events from Pokemon Yellow and slightly better graphics. But did people love it? So honestly, I think I'm really proud to have made an impact. I mean, to have left a mark or made history. When it comes to helping people, I'll keep doing it. Absolutely. Absolutely. I intend to release HOI very soon, the Ochre one, and I also plan to release Aquamarine. I want to do more translations and bring you games that were in English to make them available in Spanish. But I'm serious, I think I've done a lot together with many people as a team. So you can enjoy hours and hours and hours and hours of new Pokemon gameplay. Here Pax asks us, how do you feel about being the first of the Enses in terms of charisma? Risa, absolute meme creator. And being the most approachable because you have the community WhatsApp channel, which you'll find in the description. And still not winning any Trylock.
Thank you very much, Pax, for your comment, man. Thank you so much. Damn, describe the following colleagues with a word or phrase. Belly asks, here, Chamark.
The brother from another mother, Josu, is the best of the Enses. Zen, what can I say? He's the prince who didn't want to be king. I'm very good because of Tholigo. He's dad.
Cappy, in one word, loyal. Eric Losty.
In one word, it could be admiration. I admire Eric Losty a lot and everything he has contributed and everything he has been doing lately. Coughing sonriente. Look, can I tell you this? As a phrase, coughing is the kind of friend you always want on your team and never want to be without. At a barbecue, he has to be there. He's like a god. I have a great time. I mean, I laugh a lot with this guy. Carl Lenges, damn. The word that would define Carl Lenges for me is warrior, man. He's a warrior. Because I know he goes through really tough things that you guys don't see. And he has an incredible strength, and I really admire that about him. I don't know if he realizes it, I've said it, but the way he keeps moving forward, all the problems he faces and solves, even if it's little by little, and how he reaches his goals. Man, for me, wow. It's pure admiration, too. He's like a god. Eustaken and Pokealex. I can sum both of them up in one word, chess. Because I've always said that they play something else. It's not Pokemon, they're playing something else.
We watch a Pokemon battle and I'm seeing something completely different. I mean, it has nothing to do with us.
That's also super complex and admirable. It's something wild. So for me, that's how it would be maybe. The definition isn't crap, but the question was also a bit weird, kind of a Christ-type question, you know? They say, hello Oscar, what are your top 3 favorite video game series and why? Without including Pokemon. And also your top 3 manga and anime, you don't need to put them in order, okay? Top 3 video game series. Number 1, Dragon Quest by far. Dragon Quest is legendary. Number 2, I can leave you out of video games because in the next top 3, I'm going to include manga and anime. Video games. Number 1, Dragon Quest. Number 2, we might be able to put Ghost of Tsushima, which really made an impact on me, or Ratchet and Clank. And for the third one, let's see. Wow, there are so many video games that have made an impact on my life. Top 3, Inazuma 11. Inazuma 11 could definitely be included there as well. And top 3 anime and manga, let's see. Number 1 would be Dragon Ball. Number 2 would be Naruto. And number 3 could be Full Metal Alchemist. Question from Alfonsi. Has the idea ever been on the table of all of us living together in one house and creating content almost daily? Well, yes, we've actually talked about it many times.
Shemor and I were in Malaga looking at apartments to move in together and create content like full time. But each of us also started with our own partner, and each of us had other focuses, and it never happened, but we were very, very close, and we really want to do that kind of content with the rest of the group.
Well, the thing is, Ten already worked on something very different. He also had his own established circle there in Barcelona, and I'm pretty much the same.
It's a complicated issue. Like, it would be complicated to maybe find a middle ground, like, for example, Madrid, but Madrid is crazy. Well, with 4 of us, maybe we could afford it, you know, a nice house.
It's been considered many times, but in the end, like I said, it just doesn't happen. Ralix asks us, why do you think Folagor beat you in Super Rojo?
Do you think it was you trolling? That Fola Folagor played really well, or was there some other factor?
I was very focused when I played it. Why do you think he beat me? In the first battle, it's true that I went in with 2 Pokemon, which were a Delcatty and a Farfetch'd. Delcatty didn't have a Fairy-type stab and had Echoed Voice to stack up. The second Echoed Voice already hit like a Moonblast, and by the third one, it was practically a one-hit KO, everything. What happens is that in Showdown, it doesn't have the right ability or type. And then, Farfetch'd had an evolution, the Kanto 1 evolved into Surfetch'd, so I was running them with Eviolite. So those 2 Pokemon weren't counted properly and were useless. The second match, he played it really well against me, he played it perfectly. And you have to add 2 important factors. The first factor is that I'm really bad at playing Pokemon. I mean, I'm really bad at it. What's it called? P2P. When one person faces another, well, when it comes to going up against a friend, I'm extremely bad. I'm really bad. And Folagor's pretty good. That's the second factor. People think Folagor's a noob. He does some wild troll stuff sometimes. But if he focuses, the guy knows a lot. He's really skilled and he beat me fair and square. He beat me really, really well. That's just how it is. But we'll have a rematch soon. And I'm going to give him such a lesson in 4K, he'll be more stuck to the ground than with glue.
Yeah, those are facts. That's a full-on pen and paper masterclass.
But until the time comes, I have to keep quiet and lower my head. And Nicholas asks us a big question. He says, which small content creator would you like to collaborate with? Let's see. I think I'm a pretty open person when it comes to collaborating with anyone, as long as it makes sense. I mean, you can ask me to do a 2-month series or a 2-week project. If it's for a one-time collaboration, like a video, maybe recording something small or something like that, I'd be happy to if I have the time, with anyone. For example, Professor Nuzlo, who I actually think is pretty cool. I think he makes really cool content, very original, and I do like doing some things with him. But, I don't know, I've had a lot of people from Latin America, from Spain, a lot of people reach out to me to do things, and I have no problem if I have time and I can. I'm happy to do things with anyone. I don't care if it can get me more or less exposure. When it comes to subscribers, I think that's silly. I mean, I could record with El Rubius tomorrow, get 300,000 views on a video, and think, wow, that's crazy. But the next day, the video I upload will get the same views as always. You know what I mean?
So I think that's just silly if you like that person's vibe. And you think that whether that person has 10 subscribers or 300,000, you're gonna have a good time, you're gonna laugh. Is top tier content going to come out of that for sure? Drake's question. Of all the gods you've had in your series, which one do you feel the most affection for?
I can't tell you, man. I can't tell you because people give me all kinds of cards. I mean, I have cards there. Look, in order, I have a Matif, a Friero Aldinho.
Another Matif, a Chupapico, another Matif, damn Matif. I think that's the one I have the most gifted subcards of. I'm gonna say Matif, but I was gonna tell you that I really don't have one. I don't really have one specific Pokemon that's my super mega favorite, because that Pokemon brings back memories of that series, you know what I mean?
Friero Aldinho brings back memories of when I played with Zen, Sola Luna, Chupapico. It brings back memories of when I played Radical Red in Tri-Lock.
Action Man or Matif, well, they're nicknames that remind me of a lot of series with friends, so I can't really say I like one more than the other. Obviously, in terms of power, Friero, Aldinho, and Matif are top.
But I also have Batista Ratatata, who is a rancher and super handsome, and I keep them there with affection. Who is the biggest show-off among the Enses?
That's the topic. Look, I'm gonna leave you a clip, and with that, just with that, you'll see for yourselves. Come on, let's go.
Let's go! Come on, come on! Let's go! Come on, come on! Let's go! Let's go! Get in there!
And as a final question to wrap up this video, someone asks, has there ever been an extremely wild and hyped up series that was left unfinished for some reason?
Yes, honestly, one of the series I was most excited to do this year. The thing is, because of timing, dates, and all that, we just couldn't coordinate.
It was a series with Papi Gabby. We had talked about it. We already had all the ideas we needed to work on.
Because I think we can do something really fun.
I'm plotting things with Gabby. Gabby is practically my brother. I love him like crazy. He's such an idiot, and I'd give him two punches on each side of his face.
But he's my brother, and I love him a lot.
So, I think a series with Gabby could be amazing, and we're plotting something to make it cool, to make it absolutely top-notch.
A series that's gonna be super fun. Don't expect a masterclass in content creation, a masterclass in editing, or some huge showcase of expertise.
It's gonna be a series for us to laugh at Bugcatcher Johansson. And 3 more silly things, you know what I mean? Anyway, family, it's been a somewhat long video, but I think it's been interesting. Questions, answers.
I think you know me a little better now. I think maybe you'll feel a bit more at ease with certain questions. And that's about it, family. Leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Legends. Bye.